Hello and welcome to the Patience to Prosperity podcast, where we learn how to act in opposition of our limiting beliefs in order to reach our fullest potential. Hi guys, it's Lizzie. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Welcome back, or welcome to the Patience to Prosperity podcast. I'm so glad that you have found this platform, and I hope you stay a while. Today, we're going to talk about a concept that all of us are a little bit too familiar with. We often find ourselves looking for closure when someone in our life has wronged us, or if a situation just didn't go as planned and we're feeling some sort of uneasiness. And the hard thing about it is that this person in particular that we are going through some hardships with might have been a person that was able to comfort us in times like this before, but now that they are the person who has wronged us, it is so debilitating to know that you cannot run to this person for the problem that you're going through right now, because they are on the other end of it. They are the one who has wronged us. So, jumping right into it, some reasons why we yearn for closure is because, one, we're just trying to make meaning of things. In our human nature, we are always just trying to make meaning of things so that it puts our minds at ease and it puts purpose behind everything. And when we feel pain and we are not sure what the purpose is for, that is why we are going to closure, and we think that this closure can only come from the person on the other end of this problem. So I'm here to tell you, within the first few minutes of this episode, I'm here to tell you that the closure that you're looking for can only be given to you from yourself. You cannot get closure from another person, because when you are looking for closure in someone else, in your brain, you are only going to be complacent and okay with the version that you have created in your head of what this person is going to say. So let me explain that a little bit further. When we are looking for closure in a particular situation, and we often play out how that conversation might go in our heads, we are automatically expecting some sort of response from this person to make us feel at ease. And 9 times out of 10, things don't go as planned in life, just in general, not even in this scenario. So when we expect someone else to respond in a way that we want them to respond in order for us to feel at ease, we are literally setting the stakes so high that if they were to respond in any way other than what we want them to, we're not getting closure. So for example, if you just broke up with someone and you want to have a conversation with them to give you some closure right now, and you're playing out this conversation in your head, and maybe you have come to the point where you really want them to just own up to what they did. Maybe they cheated on you and you just want them to say that they're sorry and that you did nothing wrong. But then you have this conversation with them and they actually don't even hit on that at all, and you can't even get an apology out from them. So now you just opened up this conversation. You opened up this wound a little bit more, because now you went and you had this conversation with this person that you probably just shouldn't even be giving your energy to in the first place. And now this wound is just wide open because you just opened it up a little bit deeper in order to try to close it. So when a situation fizzles out and you decide to reach out for closure, you are giving that person the upper hand, because your closure doesn't come from how they respond to what you have to say. It comes from you saying everything you need to say without sparing their feelings. So if you are wanting to have a conversation with someone else, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and say that you should completely ghost this person and just heal on your own. That is how I deal with a lot of situations. I'm not going to lie. I have definitely taken the ghosting route in my past, and In some situations, I think it is necessary, especially when this person continues to wrong you over and over again, and it gets to a point where you just don't really feel like there's any point of explaining to them why they are a bad person, why they should have treated you better. Sometimes you don't really owe people explanations. And that's why when I say that your closure comes from you saying everything you need to say without sparing their feelings, what I mean by this is that whatever you have weighing on your chest right now, that is your own feelings. That is not the perception of what you want them to say. That is not some made up scenario that you have in your mind. It's not that delusional thinking. It is what you wish you could have said to this person when you had the opportunity to. That is what you say to this person if you decide to open up the conversation with them again and get closure from it. Because now that closure is coming from you. That closure is coming from you saying everything that you needed to on your heart, on your mind, in order to feel some sort of peace from that. But you have to make sure that you are not setting an expectation that they are going to respond a certain way to what you have to say in order to give you that closure. You just have to say what you have to say. And that is going to be your closure. That has to be enough for you. Because ultimately in life, if you expect anything from someone else, you are setting yourself up to be disappointed. You cannot expect people to show up for you in ways that they have not shown you they're capable of before. If someone wronged you in a relationship, if someone cheated on you, if someone broke up with you out of the blue and treated you like less than you deserve, how do you expect them to show up for you when you guys are on bad terms? How do you expect them to give you some sort of peace of mind when they wronged you? They're going through their own shit right now. They don't understand how to treat someone right. And although it may seem like they don't care right now, it may seem like they are just brushing under the rug and they don't care at all about your feelings, they might actually feel really guilty right now over what they did. And they are just not emotionally intelligent enough to express that to you because that means they have to admit it. And you cannot expect someone to be able to give you that emotional maturity when they have not shown it to you in the past. And I know that's kind of hard to take in because maybe this is a person that has been in your life for a really long time now. It's someone that you've shared some of your most intimate experiences with, that has been on the other side of your deepest thoughts. And now you're just supposed to be okay with this person just being a memory, with this person just being a thing of the past. I just want to say that I hear you and I see you, and I don't want to be that person that's just going to sit on the mic and be like, things are going to get better. I know it sucks right now, but down the line it's going to get better. And yes, of course it is, but that's not what you want to hear right now, because subconsciously you know it will get better. But when we are in the space of things just went bad, things just went really bad, and I don't even know where to go from here, telling yourself that it's just going to get better one day doesn't necessarily help you heal, and it doesn't necessarily give you any closure. So that kind of brings me to the question of, do we really need closure? Is it something that we genuinely need to heal? Or is it just us falling back on the comfort that this person once brought us because we're in this wave of emotions where things feel so heavy right now, and they were the person that we would fall to when the weight of the world felt this heavy? To that question, my answer, one, would be what I said in the beginning, that your closure comes from you. But even more so, I think your closure also can come from you kind of separating yourself from this person for a little bit, right? Maybe going no contact is a good option. I honestly think going no contact is always a good option. Even when things end on good terms with someone, there is no reason to be constantly reminded of them. right? So when their name pops up in your phone constantly because you guys ended on good terms and you're just trying to make it less awkward by like texting each other as if it's just a friendly relationship, whatever it may be, their name is still popping up in your phone, which is reminding you of them. It's reminding you of memories. It is just not the best approach, in my opinion, to still have this person in your phone. Even if you guys don't contact each other and they're just in your phone, it can make it a little bit harder. And I'm not saying that means you should just block all of your exes and block all of your ex-best friends, even if you guys ended on good terms. That's not what I'm saying here. But I think it's important to not just glance over the no contact option, because it's not something anyone really wants to do when they have attributed a certain part of their life to this person. It can be really hard to go no contact. It can feel almost like cold-hearted in some way. And you might also just not want this person to think that you hate them. Like, there's so many reasons why we don't want to go no contact, right? We will search for any excuse in the book. But where I was getting at was that when you are apart from this person for some time and you are both living your lives apart for a second, not only are you able to see how they deal with the situation, they are also able to see how you are dealing with the situation, right? Because we live in this world where social media is very prevalent. So if you are a person who, after a breakup, you go and post a bunch of subs on your story, you're posting lyrics on your story, you're posting a lot of selfies and mirror pictures, and you're posting that you're constantly going out with your friends and you're doing other things, trying to basically show this person that you are doing better than them, or better without them, I should say. I feel like this is, like, it's just not the right way to go, because ultimately it's not about how they're going to perceive it, because they might perceive it in the sense that, oh my God, they're doing so much better than me when you do those things, right? Like, I'm not saying that they're not going to perceive it that way. They might see those posts and think, wow, she is doing better without me. But at the same time, it's not making you feel better about yourself. At the end of the day, when the intention set behind those posts is that it is to make someone else jealous and make someone else regret losing us, regret letting us go, then it doesn't actually give us validation that we're looking for in the end of the day. And that's something that I have kind of been navigating for some time now with just taking social media aside. What I've realized is that no matter how much you try to justify it and say that posting on social media is just for you and nobody else, I think that if you are posting on social media, you are posting so that other people will see it. If it was just for you, it would stay in your camera roll and no one else would have to see that. And you would be okay with that. That would be enough for you. So to an extent, I think posting in general is always about someone else, or someone else perceiving us in some way. And that's not to put some sort of ill connotation behind posting on social media. I really don't want to demonize it, because I think in some ways it can be healthy when used in moderation, when used in ways where your intentions are pure and it's not for outside validation, and it's, I think there are justifications for it, but at the end of the day, it is for other people when we're posting on social media to an extent. And I think it's just important to become aware of that, especially after a breakup, especially after a friendship breakup, whatever it may be. In the context of someone being in our life and then abruptly being taken out of it, and then going to social media for validation, going to other people for validation, trying to make them jealous by getting with other people. All that stuff at the end of the day is not going to heal the root of this problem. The only closure that is going to come from that is that you got some external validation for a second, it gave you a little dopamine boost, and now you still feel like shit about the situation, and you just have a cute post on Instagram out of it. it's not going to make you feel so great about it, especially because if you look at Instagram in the sense of it's kind of like a time journal, that's kind of how I like to look at my Instagram. Like when I look at old photos, I'm like, oh, this is where I was at this time in my life. If you look back on that picture now, you always know. You will always remember the intent behind that photo. You will always know that it was to make your ex jealous, to show your ex best friend that you're doing better without her. You always will remember the intention that you set behind that, and it's always going to make you feel some type of way towards that post. So at the end of the day, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Sometimes it's just kind of worth asking ourselves that and just exploring that concept a little bit more. And I'm gonna do a whole episode on social media at some point, because me just talking about it right now, I think you can see how passionate I am about the subject. And I've had such a rocky relationship with it my entire life that I've spent on social media. And I'm constantly just like going through phases with it where I use it really healthy and then I feel like it's controlling me too much. And then I go and I delete it completely. And I go through so many phases with it. So I'm going to do a whole episode on that. So stay tuned for that if that's something that intrigues you and something that you also think of. I think it's an important concept for anyone to explore. So yeah, enough about that. Moving deeper into this concept of closure. Choosing yourself is always the right choice. When this person sees that you would rather be by yourself than with them, that will say something. That will send a message. Sometimes we don't need to have a conversation in order to get a message through to someone. Sometimes saying nothing says a lot. And I would argue it actually says more. Because when you are opening a conversation with someone over a situation that has passed now, even if it's still fresh, but it's still technically in the past, you're one, showing this person that you still care. Two, showing them that you not only care, but it's actually really messing with your head and you're constantly thinking about them. That is giving them some sort of power. And I'm not trying to say that in the sense that you should kind of put up this facade that you don't care at all. I don't think that that's absolutely necessary, but I also do think that it gives you more power when you show this person that you don't actually need them and you're just okay with yourself. Even if you're not okay with yourself right now, even if you're not, kind of faking it until you make it is the way to go in this particular situation. Because if you go and you try to make them jealous by getting with other people, that literally just sends them the message that you cannot be alone right now. You need to go fill that void with someone else in order to get over them. Like taking this outside of their perspective and back into your own perspective, or at least for my perspective for a second. I am the type of person who does not get jealous. I get disgusted. Like if someone is outwardly trying to make me jealous, it genuinely is the biggest turnoff to me. Like I literally just say thank you every single time that has happened in my life, because it makes it easier for me to then move on and realize how much better I am without them. So maybe it's worth exploring the concept of treating every situation that way. Treating every situation, every person, as if they are the type of person who gets disgusted rather than jealous. Because when you now look at it as me doing things that are not actually true to me and I'm just doing to make this other person miss me or be jealous that I'm not with them anymore, now you have another set of issues on your hands, because you have the problem of you not being true to yourself and also losing someone that you really loved. And that makes us kind of spiral out of control and result to going back to this person is going to solve all of our issues. When in reality, the problem is just that we are acting in an inauthentic way to try to make them jealous, which is making us hate ourselves deeper. It's not filling that void of that person being gone. It's not filling that void of us not fully loving ourselves now. And I think in a lot of ways, when we are shown a situation where someone was not capable of giving us the love that we deserve, it is forcing us to give that love to ourselves. It is forcing us to now dive deeper into ourselves and try to understand ourselves deeper, understand what our needs are by assessing how they weren't met in that relationship. So the way that we move past this person is by fulfilling our own needs. And that's so hard to do, especially in the beginning, because in some ways we kind of relied on this person for a lot. We got comfortable with them being our crutch for a little bit, them being the person that we would go to comfort us, instead of self-soothing, instead of doing the things that make us feel better on our own that we would when we were single before. It's really easy to just try to fill that with another person, but you are letting this other person win when you are trading your kind heart for a cold heart, for one with ill intent. Your kind heart is not a weakness just because someone mishandled it. The way you love is the purest thing about you. So don't let this person close your heart off to the rest of the world. Don't let this person completely change your perspective of love. Don't let them make you closed off to receiving love now in the future. And I know that's easier said than done, because a lot of the times trust issues come in, and trust issues are real as hell. We fall back on what's most familiar to us in our past experiences. And if someone showed us that we can be cheated on and that we can love someone so deeply, but that can still not be enough sometimes, that's going to stick with us. But when we let them win is by letting that affect how we let others love us and how much we let others love us in the future. Your closure is knowing that you are too good of a person to ever treat somebody the way that this person treated you. That is your closure. You know that you would never even think to do to them what they did to you, because you are just not that person. That is your closure. So don't give them the power to change you into someone with a closed heart, with ill intentions, with the intentions to just seek revenge on this person now. Don't let them change you. And if you are trying to get revenge from this person, please reassess that, because your revenge, like I said before, comes from you pouring into yourself, from you being complacent with yourself and not needing them or somebody else to fill that void. Your revenge doesn't come from egging their house and keying their car and saying really mean things to them over text, or prank calling them or leaving mean voicemails. That is not where your revenge comes from. That is just giving them the upper hand to say, I have a crazy ex. And now they're making you out to be the bad guy. You are giving them reasons to call you the problem, to point fingers at you and make you the problem, to point fingers at you and call you mean names. You are literally giving them evidence that you are someone that you are not to your core. Don't let them change you. And I think it's just worth asking yourself the question of, why are you yearning for closure from this person? Not only what do you need closure in, but why are you yearning for closure in this person? Because I think in some ways it can be, we want the other person to see things from our perspective, which is not always how it's going to go. Some people are closed-minded and they're not going to put themselves in your shoes, especially when they are the person who wronged you. Putting themselves in your shoes is a way of them admitting that they did something wrong. And some people are just not emotionally mature enough to accept that. Another reason why I think we yearn for closure is because we want to know why they did what they did. That is just, like I said in the beginning, in our human nature. We're just trying to make meaning of something. We are trying to find the purpose behind why this person would hurt us so badly if we spent all our time with them being as loving and as compassionate as possible towards them. How could they do something so bad to someone who was so good to them? It's hard to accept. It really is. But sometimes that question reveals itself in time, and it's not something that we can just get from having a conversation with this person. And I think that's basically all I have to say to sum up closure, but I am just going to leave you with some words of wisdom, some affirmations, I guess, if you will, that hopefully can help you find some peace of mind right now in this discomfort, in this really disheartening place that you're in right now. I just want you to know that if someone broke up with you, if someone let you go easy, if someone is no longer in your life, let them lose you. Let them lose you. Because you are too good of a person, too special and uniquely yourself to let someone who would treat another human being this way be the reason that you change your heart, that you change your mind, that you close out the rest of the world. You are too good of a person for that. So let them lose you. Let them see how hard and how unfortunate things unfold when you are not in their life. Let them lose you. Your revenge is leveling the fuck up and showing them that you are better off without them. When you constantly still text this person, still post things for them to see, or go to places that you know that they'll be at, it proves to them that you still care. Don't show them that you care. Show them that you're better off without them. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but I think it's necessary to kind of close out the episode with that. But I hope that today's episode was able to give you some sort of closure from this situation, was able to give you some peace of mind over the current dilemma that you are faced with right now. Know that I'm always an open ear for you guys. My DMs are always open. I have my Instagram and TikTok both linked in the show notes, so please feel free to reach out with anything at all, with what you're struggling with episode concepts that you would like me to cover, whatever it may be. Please feel free to let me know at Patience to Prosperity on TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. I just hope that your heart starts feeling a little less heavy and you start to pour into yourself more in the ways that you know you need it. I also want to note that there are journal prompts in the show notes of each and every episode that I publish. So please check out the journal prompts, especially for this episode, because right now, if you are someone who is listening to this and you are looking for closure, journaling about it is probably the best thing that you can possibly do, because you are only going to become clearer with how you actually feel about this situation, about this person, and about yourself right now by asking yourself questions, by opening your journal and seeing what comes out. So please go to the show notes and look at the journal prompts that I've posted for this episode, because I really try to make them personalized to what I talked about in each episode. So go ahead and check those out. But that's all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you have, please follow the show so that you can stay tuned with the following content that I will release. I post episodes every single Monday, and I think that's all. Things will get better and you will reach a sense of clarity and closure within yourself and with your situation. And as always, remember, come as you are and leave a little more healed.